Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing something a little bit different. We're actually doing a renovation rather than building a house. I picked this little starter home in Appaloosa Plains and yeah, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I didn't change the exterior shape of the house at all. The only things I changed were the siding, the roof, and I did modify the interior floor plan just a little bit. It starts off as a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, and I change it up into a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, just because the 1-bedroom that was originally there was just a little bit too big to be 1 bedroom. And it made actually 2 sort of decent size. They're not huge, but 2 kind of reasonable sized bedrooms. I did decorate this house more towards maybe older couple. So I had this kind of idea of Granny and Grandad live here, and maybe their grandkids come stay over at the weekends. So there are 2 bedrooms, one of which is obviously for Granny and Grandad. The other is decorated with 2 single beds, more geared towards children. I had sort of maybe 2 boys in mind when I decorated this. I'm really happy with how it turned out actually. It's super cute, sort of granny vibe, old-fashioned, cozy, that kind of thing. But I'm really happy with it. I really love how it turned out. Just recolouring the stairs and the railings just now and getting in some flooring there on the porch. I did try very hard actually not to use too much CC, especially on the actual build portion of the house. All I did use build-wise is some tall windows, the roof, and I think that's it actually for build-wise. Not a lot going on the outside, just some plants and things like that. Those windows there are the ones I mean, the tall ones. I just wanted something a bit taller to go there on that little bump out section to make it more like a kind of conservatory, but unfortunately the ones we have in game didn't really kind of work for me, so I used those and I really do love them. That area is probably my favourite, to be honest, of the whole build. Just popping in my blackouts there. And now we're on to modifying the floor plan. So yeah, you can see I've split that 1 big bedroom into sort of 2 smaller bedrooms, but there's still plenty of room in there for double beds and things like that, so they're not small by any means. And getting in some flooring and wallpaper and things like that. I just do this very briefly before we work on the landscaping. Getting in the doors. I didn't forget the doors this time, guys. So I'm pretty proud of that. And now I think once we do this window, we just go on to the debug lighting, like I like to use. I just think it gives it much more like sort of true light, so that you can see, especially when you're recolouring things. Sometimes the in-game lights, 1, they aren't bright enough, and 2, I think they can have like a kind of weird shadow on certain things, and some colours look like horrendously bright and then others are like stupidly dark. So I think the debug lighting just gives it a more sort of true, like what it'll look like kind of thing. So that's the majority of the reason that I use those. But as always, feel free to change them and put in some normal light fixtures if you wish. Just adding on the roof now, and I go for a sort of brown grey slate roof with a white trim, which I think looks really good. Getting in the terrain paints there, and a little concrete trim just around the driveway that I'm yet to add in. and just recoloring the garden fence. I went with a kind of washed out white and brown kind of colour scheme for the fence. Kind of matches the railings and the stairs there. Getting in a gate, which is always useful. And now adding in the dirt for the landscaping, and then adding in the asphalt for the driveway. So I didn't go crazy with the landscaping for this build. Just some sort of basic plants, and I recolored some of them to be a bit more sort of autumnal, sort of like darker greens, oranges, kind of brown, that kind of colour scheme. This house just felt very autumnal to me. I don't know what it was, I had this vibe about it. So that's what we went with. And I'm super glad I did, because it turned out really cute, if I do say so myself. So switching out those plants there that were just a bit too sort of spring, summer looking, and adding in the ones that look a bit more autumnal. And I did find these little pumpkins in my plant menu, and they are so cute, so I just obviously had to use them because, you know, we're nearly at Halloween, so it's only fitting. So I had a sort of idea that maybe the kids came over to stay with Granny and Grandad for the weekend, and they decided to do some pumpkin carving and pop them out on the porch once they were finished. They aren't carved, but you know, it is what it is. They're cute. Getting in a front door, because that's always useful. And recolouring that. And for the front of the house, I just add in a sort of, like, I think it's a picket fence. I think it's actually just a base game fence, which I thought was really cute. There isn't an awful lot going on in this area, to be honest. It is literally just decoration. And I like to put in, you'll see I'm doing it just now, it looks like a fake gate. Well, it is a fake gate. It looks like there's an open gate. I don't actually know if Sims can get through here, so apologies if they can't. I think they might, I don't know actually, they might be able to get through. But there is nothing in this area for them to do anyway, so, you know, they don't really need to get in here. But if you do want them to, you can easily take that out and put in an actual gate if you want. I did toy with the idea of putting seating in this area, but I just went with the tree, the log, and a little bird feeder and left it at that. And now we're on to the inside and straight into the kitchen. I spent so long trying to decide what cabinets I wanted to use, so I did cut out quite a lot of footage because it was literally just me on the struggle bus for about half an hour trying to sort through cabinets. So I saved you all the pain of having to watch that and just jumped straight to the finished layout of the kitchen. I'm really happy with it. It's not obviously by any means trendy or modern. It's something that my grandparents would have had probably back in the day. It probably was trendy when it was first installed, but yeah, I like it nonetheless. And I'm just recoloring the you've just missed it. Sorry, I've just missed it. But the little counter there with the curtains on, I thought that was a nice touch to add into kind of like old-fashioned build. It's actually a trash compactor, which is great if you don't have any room for a bin, or you don't like using bins. I just think it adds like a sort of nice touch. I use it purely for decoration. I don't actually use it for anything other than that, but I like how it adds that sort of extra dimension to the cabinets instead of it all just being the same. Just finishing up the recoloring in the kitchen. I think adding in a, what do you call it, a shelf, and then just adding in the usual sort of kitchen clutter items, cookbooks. Oh, I did add a bin. Yeah, so just adding in the clutter items on the counter. I added in a little pie there, as you see, that's from the bakery set, but it just gave me like this total vision of being sort of like 5 or 6 and going to stay with my granny for the weekend and maybe baking a cake. I don't know, it was just a cute little vibe I got from it. So had to add that in. And I think we just add in, a sack of apples and then some carrots, I think it is, that goes in on the bottom shelf there, just to add a little bit more to the kitchen. I do actually really like how this kitchen turned out. It does make me feel sort of nostalgic in a way, just like going to stay with my granny when I was a kid. Adding in a couple more things there. And then we're on to the dining area. I think this is actually my favourite part of the whole entire build, to be honest. I absolutely love how this bit turned out. It's so cute. I would actually love to have this in my real house. I just think it's really light, bright, but cozy at the same time, which is strange. I don't even know if that's a thing, but it just looks so good to me. I would love to have something like this in my house. Adding on a plant to the table, adding in a couple of things on the shelf there, and then adding in some curtains on the windows there. I love these curtains too. I think they just tie that whole area together so well. Adding a little doily onto the table, just, because grannies have those. And then moving on to the living room. I went with sofa and chair from Supernatural. I don't particularly like playing with supernatural sims like vampires and fairies and that kind of thing, but I do really like the furniture and the objects that came with Supernatural, especially for doing builds that are maybe more styled towards older sims. I think a lot of the furniture that came with that is like really fantastic for that kind of style, and I just really love it. It looks so good. Obviously I don't leave them bright green, but yeah, I really like them. Like how they turned out. Taking a while here to pick a pattern for this cushion. I think I go through every option I have in my patterns until we find this one that we go with. And then I think we just put in some curtains and a rug for the living room. I did struggle a little bit with the curtains. I couldn't decide if I wanted to use the long ones or the short ones, but we go with the shorter ones. And I really wanted to have a fireplace or a mantle or something in here, but because it's such a small living room, I couldn't really do that. So you'll see in a minute or so that I add in a shelf underneath the window, but I kind of recolor it to match the window so that it looks like a windowsill, like a large windowsill. And I think that looks really cute in place of having a mantelpiece or a fireplace or whatnot. And then I go and put a lamp in behind this chair and a little magazine rack, so you could sit there and read your magazines or your books or whatnot with the extra light of the lamp so that you can see. And then I did try and put in a little fireplace there, but it's just too big. It just didn't go at all. And I tried a couple other options before the shelf, but I think that was the best option, to be honest. And like I say, I just recolored it to match the window, maybe a little bit darker actually, and then put in some decor objects on it. I pull out this clock, which I love, but I think it was just a bit too big, so we go with this one instead. And then we get I think it's a little picture and a little ornament on there as well. I did take a little while to find something else for the other side because everything I pulled out, it was either too like modern looking or just too big for the shelf. So I think we just go with it's like a little bird ornament that I pull out, and I just go with that because like I say, everything else was just either too modern or just too big. Like they would be tiny objects, but they would be like 2 tiles wide or something, and it just drove me nuts. And then I wanted to put a plant or something beside the TV, just to kind of tie that area together, but I could not for the life of me find something that fit this style either, kind of similar to the shelf situation. But I do find it's like a little milk pitcher picture thing with maybe lilacs, there it is, or heather or something in it, and it looks really nice. So I used that. And then here in this corner, this is just a total waste because I end up changing it all anyway. So I go for like an armoire or a china cabinet, if you like, if that's what they're called, recoloring everything, and then go away and come back and realise that I hate it, so we get rid of that. So I probably should have cut that out, but never mind, here we go. I mean, it doesn't look bad, it looks okay, but I think I realised that I could use that space a little bit more efficiently, and I switch it up. But it takes me a minute to realise that I don't actually like it. So at the moment we're just adding in some stuff to the little entryway. I didn't really know too much like what an older person or older couple would have in their entryway, so I just kind of wing it. There isn't an awful lot in there, to be honest. There's like literally a rug, a clothes rack, a coat stand, the burglar alarm, and a little bench to sit on. You'll see I do try and put cushions on it, but it just looks ridiculous, so I scrap that idea and just leave it as it is. I don't know why I thought putting pillows on it would be a good idea, but never mind. We all do some questionable things. And I pull out this globe, which ends up going over by the dining table, and it looks really good there, I must say. And now we're onto the bathroom. Now this bathroom, I will say right off the bat, is not going to be to everyone's taste at all, but I thought it fit perfectly with the build. Kind of keeping in theme with the older sim vibe that we've got going on. I made the bathroom olive green. Now I know what you're thinking, like, oh my god, why would you do that? But I had this kind of thought process that when this house would have initially been fitted, like with the kitchen and the bathroom, etc., that would have probably been like the pinnacle of fashion. I don't know where you guys are from, but where I'm from, like olive green bathroom suites were like the thing. When my grandparents were like buying their first houses and stuff, you know, that was like so cool. If you had a green bathroom suite, you were it. I can't imagine anyone ever wanting to have a green bathroom suite now, but back then it was like super cool, so we go with that. But feel free to like rip it all out and change it up if you hate it. I know a lot of you will. It's definitely not to my taste, but I thought it fit the build perfectly. I do try and put some window coverings over this window, but nothing I pulled out was right, so I do actually change the window to one with blinds already built in, which saves a lot of hassle. I know Sims don't really care, but I just like things to look a bit more realistic. So adding in some bath mats and just usual bathroom knick-knacky things, towels, mirror, that kind of thing. I don't go wild with the bathroom. I mean, it's a bathroom. It is what it is. Not a lot you can do with them, really. But yeah. Adding in a toilet roll holder. I go with this like stand one because when I saw it in my buy mode, I was like, I need to use this because my granny had one. Same with the thing that goes over the bath. It just reminds me of being a kid and being in the bath at my granny's when I would stay with her at the weekend, and I would set up all my toys on this little rack thing she had, and I would literally stay in the bath until I was wrinkled, and she would like literally have to drag me out. The water would be like near freezing, and I'd be like still refusing to come out, but yeah, fun times. And here we go with the china cabinet, get rid of that, and I put in a like a console table with a telephone on it and some mail, just somewhere that you'd sit, you know, make your phone calls, chuck your mail down when you come in, that kind of thing. I just thought it was a better use of the space than having a big china cabinet there, because I don't actually think Sims can even do anything with that. I think it is just a purely decorative item, but I don't know. I like this option a lot better. I did try and use one of those OMSP sticks to put the mail on, just to move it around a little bit, but all the ones I had were either far too tall or far too short, so we give up on that pretty fast and just leave the mail on the side. And you'll see in a second, once I put this chair down, there is plates on the wall with little dogs on them. I do add in another piece of artwork with a dog on it, which is super cute, and I do this with the sole intention of the older couple that live here having a little dog, but I completely forgot to add in pet stuff. So you can either change up the artwork so that it's not completely random, or you can add in stuff for a little dog, whichever you prefer. I just wanted to explain that so you didn't think it was really weird that I just had all this random dog decor but no dog, because I suppose that is a little bit strange. Now we're on to the master bedroom, or the grandparents' bedroom, and it is what it is. It's literally just a bedroom, bed, side tables, wardrobe, nothing too crazy. But I do really like how this bedroom turned out. It's got that kind of sort of vintage cozy vibe going on. I love the bed that I picked. It really goes well with this sort of like old style. I obviously recolour it to match the side tables when I eventually get them pulled out. I wanted to use those little tables from Supernatural, but I thought it was maybe just a bit too much having two of them. So we go with these little wooden cabinets, and I changed the bed up to match, and the bedding gets changed up too to this like kind of florally pattern, something you'd expect your granny to have. Get a couple of lamps in there, and I didn't put the alarm clock down. Never mind. Here we go, the wardrobe. That wardrobe actually matches. It's a set with those bedside tables that I got from the Sims resource, I think it was. But as always, I'll do a full CC list for everything, and I'll tell you what obviously is included in the actual download as well, because as I said in my previous video, some depending on the file type, some CC is included but some isn't, because I do save quite a lot of the CC that I download individually. I convert it to package format so they don't stick to the builds when I export them, but I do add in a full CC list, so you'll know what to expect that comes with the build and what you'll have to add separately if you want it. On to the second bedroom now, and like I said, I did do this more towards kids, so I've got in the two single beds. Again, I don't go wild with this, I just add in a couple of toys, some sort of kind of artwork on the walls, toy box, and that's kind of it really. I didn't add in like a ton of toys or anything, purely because I thought they don't live here. The kids don't live with Granny and Grandad, they just come visit sometimes, so this is effectively just a spare bedroom that they sleep in when they come over. I don't actually even know if that's even possible, like for kids to sleep over at their grandparents in The Sims. I don't even actually know. I should have maybe thought of that first. Oh well. You might just have to use this as a spare bedroom, or if you change it up to be not decorated to an old couple, you can use it as something else. But yeah, so adding in a couple of little toys there, and then I think I just chucked down some curtains and a lamp on the dresser and a rug. That's pretty much it, to be honest. I go with the duck lamp. I can't remember if it's base game or if it comes with an expansion, but I thought it was like super cute for this build, and probably something that, well, I know that my grandparents might have probably had at some point, so I thought that was kind of apt for this build. And there we go, putting in the rug. I just chuck in this little oval shaped one and recolor it, and then I think we're on to the, oh no, I decided to add in some cushions onto the sofa first, and then I think we're onto the outside. The back garden isn't anything super fancy. I literally just add in a clothesline, a seating area, like a table and chairs, and a tree swing. I don't actually know if this tree swing works, or if it is just a decorative item, so I'm so sorry if it doesn't work. But I thought it was like really cute, and I kind of envisioned that maybe the granddad had built this for the grandkids, instead of like just buying them a swing. So here we are adding in just continuing on the terrain paint there just for a pathway, and using that same trim just to edge it off, and then popping the table and chairs down there on that little sort of patio, whatever you want to call it. I'm recoloring all of those. I go with the kind of green, I think it's like a green pinstripe, but I do recolor like a few options just to find out what I want to go with, but we do go with the green. And then I add in a couple of outdoor items. I think we go for like the hacky sack thing and a baseball, and then a horseshoe court. So that's about it, guys. I'm going to leave you here with some screenshots, and I really hope you enjoyed this build, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!